And so our arrival in Bainbridge is not only to request the repositioning of 2132, but to also develop a sister city relationship, which would allow for additional tourism, marketing opportunities. On-site designation of Bainbridge as an official museum partner will be present. Additionally, the history and heritage of 2132 will note the cooperation of Bainbridge in both her protection and her return to Kentucky. Her placement on the National Register of Historic Places will be proposed, also noting Bainbridge as a working partner and praising the city for her protection. Additionally, we will also prominently display Bainbridge on our proposed website, print materials, recognition at museum events through on-site signage, and then, of course, on the city website as well. Bainbridge residents and, of course, city officials will also be welcomed as guests of honor to our museum opening and our annual event that we will do in the community with CSX Transportation. We have identified a sponsor that has offered the funding for the transportation of 2132 back to Corbin. We have preliminarily estimated the transportation costs associated with her return, and our team is working alongside a number of noted railway museums to ensure that the transport would be handled with only the greatest of care.
What are you offering Bainbridge to enhance what you're moving from us?
Aside from the sister city relationship, we have done some investigation.
So we preliminarily began talks with a couple of Class 1 railroads to potentially reposition perhaps a diesel locomotive in that place, showing a new and revitalized opportunity for the city. Potentially CSX, we know, operates in the area, so that was our principal opportunity. We've also noted that the Sam Short Line of Georgia operates a Flint River passenger car from the same series of passenger car that we'll be taking on. We've reached out to Sam Short Line to see if it's possible that some type of designation for Bainbridge could be made for the movement of that, or perhaps a celebration for the citizens of Bainbridge. We've also looked at a number of other opportunities for items to be moved here in its place. None of those have been firmed yet, but we have been in discussions for several weeks. The last thing we want to do is take something without giving something back.
Yes, it's embarrassing we have not kept this facility up like we should have. But I think that we need to look closely at a rehab on our own and keep, that train is not significant to Bainbridge per se, as far as being manufactured here or whatever, but it's been in our community for approximately 34, 35 years. That starts to become history. We've lusted after Colquitt's murals and Havana's antiques and Thomasville's downtown Victorian Christmas. Let's have something with our new Riverwalk plans that we've already said we're going to put the bridge back across, the walking bridge, to that area. I don't want to see us let this go and then have to spend money to put another train back. And very obvious that they're not going to be able to fund putting back. We're going to have to look for money to bring it back. I think we need to look at keeping what we've got that is historical and promote its historic value and do a little better preservation than we have done and keep it sitting right where it is.
If I may, Mayor Pro Tem, I just wanted to back up and make sure that I was very clear in saying that no, we're not saying that Bainbridge would fund the entire, replacement. I'm saying that as a city government representative at this time, I cannot make a commitment for our government without knowing the weight, height, all those things, and how much it would cost to transport to have another car here.
There are smaller communities in Bainbridge that are upkeeping their trains, and we may not bring it back to the standard to be on the national record of historic places. And I don't know that that ought to be our goal. It would be nice, but it would be nice just to have it back cleaned up, another cover put back on, a fence if it needs to be for some additional protection. I don't know that we have to spend the money to go for historic, our scenario is different than what they're doing.
Well, but that's part of my concern, is that if we've got to put a fence around it so that you can't see it
So
from
that's
Well, but given the way ours is configured, I'm just not sure that that suits the purpose that it was brought here for.
Well, and you may not have to.
And we may not, I don't know, but I'm concerned that we can't maintain it in the condition or restore it to the condition that it should be, given its unique history, and its unique status as the only one left from this manufacturer. And so I'm concerned that we don't have the ability to get it to that point, much less keep it at that level, if we ever got it back to that point.
This beautiful train is deteriorated. I wasn't going to speak on this. I can't believe that we're not going to accept an offer to save that train. I, as a taxpayer, would rather see a riverboat, which we're famous for, here in the city of Bainbridge than that beautiful locomotive that is deteriorated to the point where they'll be lucky to save her. That's your job, to save and to improve our tourism. We don't have people coming here to look at that locomotive. We would if we had a small riverboat with a band and a restaurant. I hope you vote to allow her to be saved. 2132, and I wasn't going to get involved in this, but I think the whole community would like to see her preserved, and I, in turn, would like to have some people from Kentucky, when they come down to Florida in the winter, or Panama City, stop in Bainbridge.
I'd like to say that I grew up next to a railroad that had an engine, and I really thought it was this engine that was used on the route from Climax to River Junction and then went to Steve's and was used at the coal plant. But I'm not sure that's true, but I thought that it was this train. Having seen the train pass my house twice a day, every day, and listened to the whistle blow, and went with the lady next door to carry mail and put on the car that carried the mail from Fowlestown out. The train means a lot to me. If it's in the way of the river park, I'll be glad to raise the funds and move the train from where it is to some property that I'll furnish to put it on and keep it in Decatur County. But I do not see giving the train to Kentucky. I do not see that we would ever get any benefit from it in any way in the world.
Basil Lucas, 293 River Drive. The train was brought here after we moved here. I don't see the historical connection between the train and this city. Yeah, to look at, that's not a strong, you know, we don't have people coming to Bainbridge to see this train. Riverboat, or those planes out at the airport that we've got, those hangars. Maybe that's the route, that's germane to Bainbridge. I just have a real stretch in my mind to say, I gotta hang on to this train. Nostalgia figures in, sure, but it sounds like it's going to end up costing us some money somewhere along the line. And y'all, we don't need to be spending money on stuff like this. It's nice, y'all are great. I'd love to see y'all get the train.
Thank you.
Yes, that is the train that used to come. I didn't make these copies for y'all, so you'll have to share. But that train did come. You're right.
Came from there.
Right. And so we do have a little bit of a connection to it. I just think we need to have a whole lot more facts. I don't think they've given us enough information. I think we need to know that it's going to be advantageous to us because we've already got the train, and if it's not going to be advantageous, I think that we ought to keep what we got and let them get another one.
Just table it out and discuss it among ourselves and see what we really want and what we want to do.
Yes, sir.
Is that a motion, Mr. Swisher?
Doesn't have to be a motion, you can just say that that's what you're trying to do.
But what,
He's asking to table the issue.
well, that kills it then.
Right. That would give us a couple of weeks or more to talk with our friends in Corbin and see if we can work out some type of swap.
That kills the discussion.
So yeah, that's all you gotta do is say.